My name is Justin Beasley. I am the City and Fire Public Information Officer. That is Justin Beasley. To my right, I have Captain Tyler Chandler with the Mount Juliet Police Department. And to my left, I have our Mayor for the City of Mount Juliet, James Manis. First off, I want to say thank you to everyone for the hard work involved to get to this scene and assess it as quick as everyone did. We are pleased to say, some good news here. No fatalities or injuries reported within the residents here at Glass Creek Apartments. However, on that same token, a Mount Juliet fireman did enter the building, did sustain injuries, and has been transported to Summit and now Skyline Medical Center. Very important to note that this transport happened in the back of a police car with officers from Mount Juliet Police Department assisting, along with Metro Police Department assisting as well. All of their efforts critical in continuing to make sure that this person was cared for as much as possible. We can say right now that that person is in critical condition, and we are continuing to have our thoughts and prayers with him and his family as well. What happened here, we think, as of right now, was a lightning strike. Nothing suspicious right now, but again, that is also continued to be investigated throughout this evening. The Red Cross is here, thankfully, and coordinating with property management to establish housing for the displaced. All the displaced right now are at the clubhouse of the Glass Creek Apartments. Again, this happened in the 400 building by our count with Captain Tyler Chandler. 24 units have been displaced and no other building was affected. I know that we evacuated building 500 as well, and thankfully with Captain Tyler Chandler and our IT department having our MJ alert system, we were able to get them out as soon as possible within that messaging system here in Mount Juliet that has not only saved lives today, but has saved lives in the past 3 or 4 years as well. Again, our crews were given an unprecedented task when they showed up here at about 12:30, I believe, when that first call was in. And due to the building construction, they had a big challenge ahead. But thankfully, as we can say today, everyone made it out and no injuries or fatalities within the residents. But again, our thoughts and prayers continue with the firefighter that we do have that is battling right now at Skyline Medical. I will take a couple of questions after I hand it over to our Mayor, James Manis, who would like to say something about our injured firefighter. James Manis.
I'd like to start by adding, just thank the community for the overwhelming response that we've had to assist and aid in any way possible. That is just what Mount Juliet does in situations like this. Our fire department, the response time that they responded to the situation, the professionalism that they've shown here today in handling it, our police department in the way that they've responded to assist and with evacuations, and just the response with everybody in general, from the property management to local businesses that have reached out to assist in any way possible. But I would appeal to the community and just ask for prayers for our injured firefighter that has been hospitalized. Prayers for him and his family, his co-workers that are so concerned for him, and everyone that's been involved here. We've got also on top of that approximately 24 units that have been displaced. Prayers for them as well, because they're facing a long challenge ahead of them with the losses that they've taken in terms of maybe pets or just the belongings that they've had and starting over from scratch. But I just reiterate and ask again for prayers for our firefighter and the families, his family especially, that he would have a quick road to recovery, and of course the medical professionals that are treating him as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. We appreciate our Mayor being here. As you all know, Mount Juliet, a very tight-knit, close community. We're certainly thankful to have him and his leadership here. Did forget one thing in my notes. Wilson County Emergency Management Agency here as well, working throughout the entirety of the day. Got to give them kudos as well for their quick response as well, along with our Mount Juliet Fire Department. I'll open up for a couple of questions if I can, touch on anything. Again, this is still under investigation, so only so much we can share. Yes, ma'am.
Firefighter who's injured, can you tell us a little bit about the extent of his injuries? Are they smoke inhalation, burn? What do we know about his injuries?
It is along the term of
Critical.
Of-
I can kind of add a little
okay.
bit into
Yes,
that.
please do.
Not speaking too much on the firefighter's injuries because we want to protect, his privacy at this moment, his family's privacy. But when our police officers and firefighters arrived, you had a building on fire on the roof. Residents inside the building did not know their building was on fire because it was in the roof and traveling along the roof line. So our police officers and firefighters immediately did whatever they could to ensure everyone was safely evacuated. At some moment during that, the building started to collapse while 3 firefighters were inside. One was in a situation where he could not immediately get out. The other 2 could get out, and due to the nature and the seriousness of his injuries, it was better for us at the moment to quickly put him in a police car and get that injured firefighter to Summit ER, where he was eventually transported to Skyline Medical Center. But what you see here today is an event taking place where officers and firefighters were working to save people's lives to ensure everyone was out of there, and they put themselves in situations that cause them their own harm, right? They run to the harm when everyone is running away. And sometimes you get caught in those moments where it's serious enough that could injure you, and that's what occurred today. The work of our officers and firefighters and the medics on the scene is definitely heroic on what they did and everything that they did, in the coordination with Wilson County EMA, the Wilson County Sheriff's Department, even Metro Nashville Police Department. We had roads closed all the way to Summit, all the way from Summit to Skyline, just to ensure this firefighter got the best possible care and the quickest possible care in this moment. You have a hero who is down at the moment, and from our police department, our whole city, the mayor, Justin here, everyone, our prayers are with him for a quick recovery, and hopefully he will recover completely and be back to work sometime. That's our biggest prayer here. We're thankful that no citizens were injured or seriously hurt. We've even saved some animals out of the home, which we have some stuff we'll get to you guys. But you have that loss of property. But you can replace property, folks. You can't replace lives. That's basically in sum of the situation on how those injuries occurred and the dynamics that took place to ensure the firefighter received the best possible care. Right.
On the topic of animals, do we know if any did not make it?
Not that we know of right now. I know plenty of cats were rescued. We just saw 2 dogs come out of the building as well that we'll be able to release throughout our Mount Juliet Police, City, and Fire Facebook and Twitters as well. We'll be glad to get you all those smiling faces and hopefully have some good news to report with our firefighter as well sooner than later.
Can you talk about the sprinkler system? Was there one, and did that help?
Yeah. Talk on that real quick. The dynamics you had today was a fire that started in the roof. The building it did have a sprinkler system, but when you have a fire that has grown so much above the sprinkler system, there are times that sprinkler system does not work properly, right? Or just can't work properly because the high winds, you had high winds, active fire, and we were truly worried about other buildings being caught on fire, and that's why we had to evacuate surrounding buildings as well. Right.
And then can you just also talk about the scope of the response? How many fire trucks do you think responded today?
Yeah, just multiple agencies.
Yeah, multiple agencies. If you were to peek on the other side, I mean, it's, as Captain said, it's the Wilson County Sheriff's Office, WEMA, Mount Juliet Fire, Mount Juliet Police, also Metro assisting on the interstate. So really all hands on deck. Rehab 23 is out here. Would hate to forget anybody, but of anybody that is on our critical response team is certainly out there and putting in the work and has certainly delivered the results today that are favorable, and by God's grace we'll have a firefighter that's on the mend as well here very soon that, again, as Captain and the Mayor said, our prayers are ultimately with right now.
And now we can see the damage, obviously, and you said the building did start to collapse. Is it a total loss, this building?
Yes, it is.
Any word on the status of the people who are displaced from the building? Any word on what their situation is?
Yeah, Red Cross is working on that right now. Again, they are in the Glass Creek Apartment Clubhouse. Very fluid situation as it is always with that, but I can assure you with the care of the City of Mount Juliet, we're going to make sure that they're taking care of us as much as they can by all the agencies involved.
And 24 units in that building?
24 units, yes, sir.
Any estimate as to how many people that is?
No, not that I know of at this time.
Can you just talk about how quickly the situation escalated? I mean, obviously we saw how huge these flames were, and the building's a total loss. Can you just talk about how quickly that happened?
Yeah, it happened in a matter of minutes, and as Captain said, he was here and was able to witness most of it. We're certainly thankful that so many agencies were involved and got to this spot and didn't have any hesitancy of knowing where this building was and how to evacuate it as quickly as possible. Again, that goes to our MJ alert system as well, with how many people use that as a valuable resource. But it happened very quick, and we're glad that we had a favorable outcome because it took God's grace and also our first responders.
What do folks who live in the area need to know? We've had some residents say that they can't get back on the property.
It's
Do we
back
know when
open.
they'll be back?
It's back open as of right now. Yes.
And
Good
this
question.
Sorry, this might not come from you guys, but I spoke to some people out here earlier that said they had some confusion on which building it was, and if their things were, in that
Yeah, I
building
can
or
speak
whatever
on
building
that.
that was on fire. Well, is there some disconnect you guys can kind of clear up?
Absolutely. Good question.
Yeah, our original caller first stated it was the 1200 building. Our first alert went out stating the 1200 building was on fire. The way we look at that is we're taking a caller on the scene. We're trying to do whatever we can to let our community know that there's a problem at this apartment complex, right? And if that got people stirred up to then see it was the 400 building that was actually on fire, I think we still move forward in a positive direction, right, on ensuring our community knows about something that's happening. Once we got on scene, our officers saw, okay, it's actually the 400 building. You could see it was on fire clearly from the smoke and the flames that were already shooting out the roof. And then we were able to update through MJ Alert eventually that it was the 400 building, and then we determined we needed to evacuate the 500 building, and that was updated as well. But initially, our initial caller stated the 1200 building was on fire. All right.
Thank you all for coming out. We certainly appreciate all the coverage, and thank you again.
What time did the initial call come in?
12:30. About 12:30.
About 12:30 is what we have on record. Thank you all.
Right. Thank you all. Thank you.